going on, everybody? Eric here, Driveline World's OK steering wheel holder, self-proclaimed, of course. Some of you may think that you're the better steering wheel holder, or think you're an okayer steering wheel holder. That's fine. That's fine. I've really committed to that. In fact, so I've done it now for like 700 videos. World's OK steering wheel holder, and for those of you who've only been on this channel or if you're just not joining, if you're seeing this and you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Why not? It's free. I do several videos a week usually about trucking and Prime and all that, all that good stuff. But if you've been on the channel for maybe a year or less, and maybe wondering why I say World's OK steering wheel holder, it's really to make fun of the super truckers. It's because they like calling us steering wheel holders. We drive automatic trucks, and there's even some super truckers out there I've been in arguments with about whether or not there should even be automatic trucks, and you can't be a professional if you're not driving a manual truck and all this stuff. So I just roll with it, man. You want to make fun of me, I'll make fun of it with you. Call it what you want. They like to say we're not owner-operators. We own a truck. And call that what you want. I don't care what you call it. I'm going to make fun of it with you. So World's OK steering wheel holder. I actually didn't. There was maybe one or two videos where I forgot to say it. There's been a couple videos, and like people took it so seriously, they got that in the comments. They're like, hey, what's going on? Why didn't you? Nobody will comment on it when I say it, but when I don't say it, that's when the comments come out. So anyway, I'm a little bit too ahead of schedule on an OTIF load, and there's nowhere to sit. There's nowhere to even sit where the Walmart that I'm headed to for the final roughly 75 miles. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere, and there's nowhere to hide in the cut. There's no shoulders. There's nothing. So I'm having to sit 100 miles away and burn a little bit of time. So I figured I'd bust out a video real quick. I haven't made one for a few days. I've got content loaded up for the members of the channel. I'm way behind on that too. But the truth is, man, today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday morning. That reefer just cut off, so your audio probably just got better. Wednesday morning. Today's Wednesday morning. Yeah. Yesterday, Tuesday, was the first time that I've gotten like just a full solid 8 hours of sleep in a while. It's been probably a week and a half of just broken up, sleep throughout the day. Just not really good. Like you just get in these, I get in these grooves where I'm sleeping really good. And then I also get in these grooves where I'm just not, it's enough sleep to be safely driving. I'm not suggesting I'm not safely driving, but it's been for the last few days, I've just like not wanted to make it. I haven't wanted to make it like I want to park and try to get sleep. You know what I mean? Usually when I'm getting good sleep, I'll park and I'll have time to make videos, go in a shower, maybe watch something for 20 or 30 minutes and unwind, make something to eat. But the last few mornings, I've just shut down and just crawled into bed. Yesterday morning, I cut my drive in half because I got to this Love's, where was that at? Somewhere up there south of Memphis. It's the first, if you're going southeast on 22, south of Memphis, there's that Love's there on the right. It would be on the west side of 22. I pulled in there just to fuel the reefer and take a 30-minute break. And there was this golden, beautiful straight back right in front of it was the only spot available in the whole truck stop, right in front of the fuel islands. And I was like, man, I'll just go back into that spot, park, run in and shower. Because this was like 2:33 in the morning. And I still had 360 miles to go to my final destination. And I was planning on driving to just get 100 miles away so I could wake up and just have 100 miles. Well, I go in and shower at 2:30 in the morning during this break, and by the time I got back out to the truck, I was like, yeah, I ain't going to continue on. I'm just calling it here, which is not normal for me. Normally, I like to get as close to the 90 as possible and then take time to just kind of chill out. But I was like, man, I'm just calling it. I'm just calling an audible. And so I had showered and I was able to make something to eat because I didn't feel rushed or anything. And I actually slept like solid for a full 8 hours, which was awesome. And I really hope to be able to get back on that schedule because for the last, 6 months to a year, I've been doing really good with sleep. Like not 8 hours every day, solid like that, nonstop, but just been doing a lot better with sleep. And that's one of the beauties of solo driving. So anyway, that's why I haven't had a video in the last couple of days, because it's just been like, man, trying to piece together enough sleep over a 10-hour break is proven to be more difficult than it usually is over the last few days. So all that said, one thing that I am going to talk about here coming up pretty soon is, by the way, if you've made it this far, 6.5 minutes in, I'm going to give you a special invite. Longtime subscribers will remember the old Discord channel, which we ended up having a lot of problems with because it just got out of control and out of hand, and there were just some problems with it. And it was causing some problems with Prime, and there was people from the training department in that Discord server. There were fleet managers in that Discord server, and it was aligned with the brand of this channel. And there were a lot of things that were being discussed overnight when I couldn't manage or moderate it, sometimes by moderators that were not appropriate. And it was just, a real challenge. But me and some others are in the very beginnings of building a new one, but we're going to do it differently. So there was over 1,000 people on that Prime Discord server that we had before. We are going to be slowly building a new one, little bits by little bits. So if you've made it this far and you want to join our Discord server, if you're a Prime driver or just a truck driver, you want to have voice chat while you're driving, hang out with a few others. If you got questions about coming to Prime, any of that stuff, the link will be in the description down below. That link will expire in a few days. So you got to do it quick because we're only going to be opening it up for new members to join, and just slowly build it up instead of just letting it get completely out of control like we did last time. But we'd love to have you there, and it's a good place to just meet other drivers and ask questions or provide answers to others that might be asking questions, or just shoot the shit. So that'll be down in the link in the description below. But that kind of leads me into what I wanted to hit on real quick. This is a challenge for me to say. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a challenge for me to say. And Lyle and a few others may get a little agitated at me for saying it. He'll probably call me or something tomorrow. I feel I'm not going to give Prime any credit for this. I'm going to give the driver community full credit for this. But I feel like the culture that Prime so often likes to talk about maybe repairing itself. There may be some improvements, and I'm not sure I'm going to put my finger on it yet. I would love to know if any of you see it, but I will tell you that I've had more drivers and future drivers reach out to me in the past few weeks than I've had in a long time. In fact, it's like to the point of it's been difficult, a little bit difficult to manage over the last few days, just the sheer number of emails and text messages that are coming in from people with questions or wanting to get connected or wanting to network. It's awesome. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not trying to say don't do it. I'm just saying it's just a really surprising vibe. There just seems to be like some excitement and optimism in the air amongst at least the drivers that I'm in contact with, just about Prime and just things in general as it relates to Prime and Prime drivers and things like that. And not only that, but the last couple times that I've been at the terminal at Prime, the air is a little less thick. Literally the last 3 times I've been at Prime, I've found myself sitting in the cafe there at the terminal in Springfield at a table with just full of other drivers or students or trainees, trainers, what have you, just shooting the shit. And not only that, but other drivers that are just walking through, they'll come over and say, hey, pull up a chair, and they jump into the conversation. That has been a vibe that hasn't existed for a few years at Prime. That is very reminiscent of, I say old school Prime, but 2019, 2020, 2021 Prime. And I hope that continues. And I've got some thoughts on that I want to follow up with. But I feel as though I should be... Now, I'm going to complain and rant about it here on YouTube, of course, whenever I feel that it's been damaged. And I do feel it's been damaged. I feel like there's been a lot of decisions made that have directly caused significant damage to that culture. But I also feel like if I'm going to criticize it, and if I'm going to complain about it, which I am, that I also need to contribute to it. I need to contribute to trying to foster it, which I used to do. I used to do a lot of. I used to play a very big part in that. And so that's something I'm really trying to think through and grapple with myself over, like I don't want to just be complaining or ranting about it and then not making a contribution of any kind that I can with the platform that I have to try and repair it or make it better. There's plenty to complain about with Prime, as there are with any company out there, but there's also a lot for me to be grateful for. And honestly, there's a lot for me to be proud of. I don't want to... I'm just going to be doing some things to try to get back to the roots and try to do what I can to contribute to it, to help foster better, stronger culture within this big carrier that so many of us pull freight for. And I've been encouraged to do that by some other drivers, and I've had some of these drivers that are reaching out, or potential drivers that are coming in. There's one guy who works in security. I don't know if he wants me to mention which terminal or what his name is, so I won't, but someone who works in security for Prime who's thinking about becoming a driver. And, it's just... in some of the dialogue and back and forth, it's like, hey, you should really do this, or maybe, this would be helpful for those of us maybe kind of thinking about it. It's like, man, I used to do that. I used to go full bore on that. And, a lot of it caused me a lot of pain. But there was a lot of beauty in that too. And I felt like, I just felt like things were just really awesome. And maybe if I can contribute any little bit to it, then I will. Then I want to, So watch for some of that and watch for more thoughts on that. But I'd love to know your take on it. I know a lot of you have a lot of frustrations with Prime or whatever company you're with. I do too, okay? I'm not saying that I don't still have frustrations and complaints. I certainly do. But I don't want to just be negative about it all. I don't want to just ho-hum, screw them, they messed this up, or they made stupid decisions on this or that, or the cameras, blah, blah, blah. I I love the network that I have. I love the conversations that I'm in every single night. I'm in way too many text threads. I just had to tell a text thread tonight that I have to delete the thread. I can't keep up with it. I've got to have a way to manage all of this. I mean, people just add me to text threads, so I'm trying to find a way to manage that, but I love that. I love that I'm a part of conversations and that people are asking me for information and they're also giving me information. And I want that to be strong. And it used to be that there was such good culture and such good networking at Prime that when students showed up in 2020, 21, the second they got to Campus Inn, they were already plugged into a great online network, not Facebook, not that toxic soup of mouth breathers, but a really strong network the second they hit the Campus Inn door. And if I can contribute to maybe repairing some of that, then I would really like to. So that's what I've been thinking about the last few days, and something that I'll be working on, in the near future. So, all right, guys, that's it for me. I've just been running freight, been busy. Things are going good. Freight's been good for me. I've had no problems with my trucks staying reloaded. I have had a problem with a significant problem with a load on one of my trucks. But outside of that, everything's been going really well. So hopefully you guys are having kind of a similar situation. And if not, hopefully it gets better for you. Be safe, make good decisions, always drive, thrive. Talk to y'all soon.